inside the Saxman Studio. Tonight's guest, my boy David. We'll be talking about the incident that happened in Chicago over the Father's Day weekend. Blue flu in Atlanta. And we'll be talking about a whole lot of other things. So please, stay tuned. It's inside Saxman Studio. Now here's your host, your boy and mine, Saxman. Good evening, everyone. This is your boy Sax, and this is another episode of the Saxman Russaw Show featuring inside the Saxman Studio. You know, I started something new. I'm trying to work on getting a lot of other shit going, but you know what I'm talking about. So tonight, we'll be talking about a couple of crazy things that's been going on the last 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about this group called Chaz that's up in Seattle, Washington. Crazy motherfuckers. Autonomous zones. We're going to be talking about autonomous zones. It took me a while to understand what the fuck that meant. and how the mayor is letting people go crazy over in Seattle. We're going to be talking about the deadly shooting that happened over the Father's Day weekend in Chicago. Everybody call it Chirac, Chicago. We'll be talking about that. And a couple other things. I got a great friend that's going to be in the studio. The phone lines are open if you want to call in and talk to myself or my guest tonight. I got a good friend I've been knowing for quite some time. Great guy. I'm going to try to use him as much as I possibly can for the show if he let me. If he don't go in my pockets. But I want to introduce to you my friend, Dave. Come on up in here, brother.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, the fist bump.
Good to see you.
You gave a brother a fist bump.
This is what I look like. I'm gonna have the mask on the rest of the time, lest I get in trouble later on.
Yeah, so. His woman said he has to wear the mask in order for him to be on my show. If not, she gonna come up here and kick his ass.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's
so
true.
He has to wear the mask. So my mom, Mama Sax, made me promise to wear my mask. That's why I have it. Usually you don't see me with it on. She made me promise to wear my mask. I said, okay, mommy, I'll wear the mask. She said, be respectful to your guests. I said, okay, mommy. Yeah. So I got the mask. Mama Sax, you see me with it, put it on. And
you want to talk about this stuff, but I want to talk about these white people books up here in this library. Gloria Stewart, I just kept hoping. Who the hell wants to read about her? She's dead now. 99-year-old washed up actress that ended up in Titanic. T. Boone Pickens, old crusty Republican billionaire, dead motherfucking asshole. Who wants to read? Look how old it is, man. Look, inscribed, 1987 they gave it. Who's reading this shit now?
Jesus.
Danielle Steele. I can't get any more white than this. Look at this chick. 1980s, like New York. Donald Trump would have dated that back then.
Yeah, he would have definitely dated that.
Okay, anyway, enough of that. I got all these books here. I'm like, T. Boone Pickens, Gloria Stewart, Mary Higgins Clark. Who's reading this shit? Nobody. All right.
Well, you know, to be honest, I am. Now,
okay.
I'm not reading it. It's just for decorations. It's for the studio. It's what you call visual effect.
Yeah, it's something like that. It takes up space.
It takes up space.
What about this picture back here? I walk in, I said, that looks like Bill Cosby smiling back there. I looked at it for 2 seconds. I swear to God, for a quarter of a second, I'm like, Bill Cosby, what the fuck? Oh, okay, anyway, shit. It did, man. I don't know. Anyway, all right.
Dave.
Enough of that crap. Let's go.
Dave, I don't know what to say.
Hey, I don't know.
I love this man. This man has always
one and only, man.
He has always entertained me as long as I've known him.
Try.
He has that voice. What's his name? Family Guy.
What, Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, he has that Seth MacFarlane voice. I don't know if y'all hear it, but I used to tease him about that. Say, hey, man,
some crazy voices.
See, yeah, I used to get her. I said, man, this is sound. Yeah, man. How you doing? He used to tickle the shit out of me, man.
Hey, if you can't laugh at yourself or, something, man, you're taking life too serious. You gotta have some levity, especially, chasing these people around town and stuff like we used to do and all that. You need some kind of levity because it's real tough at the end of the day, man, the stress and everything.
I'm ready to leave and put the badge on the counter,
Yeah.
up on their shot glass, and
Right.
sit there.
Right.
You know, after I throw one down, put
Right.
it on, because it really, doing this job, Dave, it's no longer fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
We've been doing it how long though?
34
I was gonna
years.
say 35 years almost. That's a long
Yeah, it's
time.
a long time.
That's a long
But
time.
it was fun 33 years ago.
Right. Sure.
This last year,
Times are different, man.
Sure, it's been terrible.
Times are different. I'm just glad I'm not out there anymore like I used to be. I can't. How much worse has it gotten? I mean, it's been a couple of years since I've been out, but say in the last like 2 years, how like percentage wise do you think it's gotten worse, or what's different about it? Is it crime? Is it the people's attitudes, or what is it?
Well, if you want to talk statistics, and you can Google this, it was more murders under Obama than it has been under.
We're here in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, in the nation, in the.
Okay,
country.
I don't have that in front of me, but I'll take your word for
Google
it. Okay.
stats. It's just now, in just this year, has increased as far as the black homicides, and I believe it's something to that.
Well, what is it though? I mean, is it just lack of policing, or is it just people are?
It's the same policing that's been going on all these years. The only thing is now they're making it more noticeable, and they're encouraging more black people to fight against the police.
Okay.
And that's causing their deadly force encounter.
Okay. But specifically the homicide rate. I mean, you're talking among African Americans, especially, or whites, or
as far as percentage wise, it's gone up by 10-15%
and you
since
don't know,
last year.
But what's the rationale for that? I mean, what do you think? What is the reason that it's gone up 10%? Do you think it's just the policing, or do you think there's something else going on culturally? Or
I give it both.
Yeah.
I say it's policing.
It's just a perfect storm, like a combination of everything.
I say it's
makes
policing.
it happen that way, yeah.
And I say it's the lack of accountability.
All right, okay.
Because if you drunk, out of your mind, passed out behind the wheel in a Wendy's drive-thru,
right.
Don't know what city you in, what county you in,
Mm-hmm.
who you here to see, then you got to have some accountability to your behavior.
Right.
Just take the arrest and go to court.
Right.
So the responsibility falls on both of you.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a very specific incident there too.
There's quite a few of those.
Well, there's, I mean, but that one specific down to Atlanta. But I don't know. What do you think? Your personal opinion? I mean, the cop is looking at a capital charge. I mean, he could have the electric chair
for doing what's in policy. Policy says if someone takes something off your belt,
right? Okay, go ahead.
That can be used against you to incapacitate you or kill you. You have the right to shoot and use deadly force. That's policy. That's been in policy forever.
Let me play devil's advocate. This isn't my opinion. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's why you're here.
Is like, okay, they say, taser is not a deadly weapon. Well, it can be. If you have a heart arrhythmia and you don't know you have a heart arrhythmia,
that's right.
And you get shot, that could kill you.
My cousin
the voltage
died.
could kill you.
My cousin died from a taser.
Did he really?
Yes.
How long ago was this?
It was on a Christmas, I want to say maybe 10 years. Because my other cousin passed away. He's been dead now 3 years. So he was dead. So I want to say around 2010, 9.
It's like a decade. Where did he get tased at? Was it his?
Well, it was on a New Year's Eve. I think it was a New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. And he was a little drunk. And he was on his way to go see his mom.
Here in Cleveland?
Here in Cleveland. And cops stopped him. He was drunk.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And he fought him because he was a big cuz. And they tased him and tased him and tased him, and he died.
Oh, wow. At the hospital, or did he die?
No, he died there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Did they sue the police department?
Yep, and my cousins and them got paid.
Did they? Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's get back to the situation at the Wendy's. Okay, so, we said, it can be a deadly weapon, depending if you have a pre-existing condition, don't know what other factors that,
them probes hit you in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not trained. This guy's drunk. He ain't trained. He don't know how to aim. He ain't whoop right in the eye.
But then they say that officer shot him twice in the back, and you shoot somebody in the back. Well, then
that's what got him in trouble.
Right.
Had he, let's just say that the guy did not take the cop's taser, but took his firearm.
Right. Different story.
And used it. Because he did deploy the taser on the officer and tased him The officer fell to the ground.
Did he? I don't recall.
Yes,
that.
the officer fell to the ground. He got hit with that taser.
I don't
Now,
recall
let's
that
just say it wasn't the taser. Let's just say it was his sidearm. That officer would be dead right now.
If he shot, of course, and then the shooting in the back would be more justified by taking the service weapon than by taking the taser.
I said that to say this. He's tased. He's incapacitated.
Right.
The suspect can take his weapon and use it against him. Luckily, he had another officer there to make sure that didn't happen. What if he's by himself? He'd have been shit out of the creek.
Yeah, well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's a non-starter. We don't know because the situation's over with. Yeah, it was cut and clean. And
the fact happened, he had a partner to make sure that it happened. Good thing.
Right.
But if he'd have got a hold of that gun,
right.
It's sad. What's even more sad is the fact that they took it out on the Wendy's.
Yeah,
and that's dumb.
I think they finally caught that female that burned down the Wendy's.
I hope they beat.
No, they did. They had an APB out for her. They finally figured out who she was, and I believe they arrested her.
I hope
they one single female
beat the shit out of her. I'm being honest. I hope they beat the shit out of her.
Quit looking at porn while we're supposed to be talking. Jesus Christ, man. What are you doing over there? He's looking at gangbang porn. We're supposed to be talking. Jesus Christ.
Look at that gangbang. wait a minute. Now, I wanted to see, I got the thing turned around, so I can't see the
That's an insult to Bill Cosby.
Yeah, it's an insult to Bill Cosby. That's what Maurice. He's an officer down in Texas.
That's funny.
Yeah. So they're watching me. Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to turn this on so I can see the comments. That's turned around so we can see.
I got you. Yeah, okay, got you.
So let's start with Seattle.
Yeah, they finally broke up that autonomous zone.
Yeah, now
there's two different names.
It's CHOP.
CHOP, yeah, exactly.
What the fuck is CHOP? I get Chaz.
Capitol Hill. Oh shit.
I get Chaz. Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. I get that.
I had it in my head, and I can't remember what the hell it is off the top of my head. But I mean, it's the same. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, CHOP.
That's the name of the zone that they're in, Chaz. Where CHOP is the name of the actual group.
Okay.
So it's like two different things. Let me find it here. So
Let me write that down. CHOP. I saw that shit. I said, what the fuck?
Sounds like a good steakhouse.
Don't it?
Yeah, Seattle CHOP.
See, I can make millions with you, Dave. I swear to God. This man come up with some shit.
We're gonna go to Seattle CHOP and get shot at the same time. Capitol Hill occupied
police or people
protest.
Protest?
Yeah. So Capitol Hill occupied. I knew that. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head.
Protest. Okay. It don't make sense because the mayor, she need to get her ass whooped. She should be.
Well, she told him the other day, you need to get, 4 days ago, you need to clear out finally. And I guess the leader, whoever the de facto leader is of it, signed a letter yesterday stating that they're going to leave and they're clearing house as we speak. Last I heard from it
she should have never allowed it to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
When you surrender your city, you're showing weakness.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a situation like this I'm 42 years old.
I'm 60.
I can't remember a situation where we've had anything like this, other than maybe the Occupy Wall Street where they occupied a park.
Yeah.
Or they occupied, a tiny little corner, but not an entire,
neighborhood of town. We had riots. We had Glenville, Huff, all them. It was never we're trying to occupy the entire city. We're going to take over a precinct.
Right. And this area of Seattle, too, is predominantly an arts district. It's a lot of LGBTQ people live around there. And it's like an up-and-coming district where I read the minimum rent amounts are like $2,000 minimum up there in that neighborhood. A month.
I was told.
So it's not a low-class neighborhood by any stretch of the imagination.
You look at it now.
Yeah.
Businesses are leaving. Businesses are getting they're suing Seattle over the handling of CHOP. And all the businesses are leaving and getting the fuck out. Now they begged her, the business owners. They even did a video. Look at this: the graffiti, the trash, the homeless people everywhere. It was awful.
They've had 4 shootings there, 1 dead in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let the police get in there to get to the person.
Well, they're afraid of the police's health. That they might create a bigger riot by bringing in the police. Might create more of a riot and injury and death than just letting them be. But I mean, there has to come a point. before you send in the National Guard, which only the governor can do and the president cannot do, even though
the president can't.
do that.
No, that's the governor.
But you don't want to do that because look at Kent State, man. You get a situation like that 50 years ago,
Oh my God, that shooting
get out of control. And that same thing could have happened. I mean, in theory, if she would have sent in the National Guard and a guard member gets a little overzealous and is like, oh, I think this guy's coming at me and shoots 1 or 2 times. Well, both sides have guns. There you go,
I want to call this person because me and this person talked. And I hope she answers the phone. I want to ask her opinion on what's going on in Seattle. And she's really outspoken. She's
all right.
So we're
she here in Cleveland?
Yeah. She's the activist that's taking East Cleveland down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tina. What's up, Maurice? Let me see if she answered the phone. She might be knowing I'm calling because she might be looking.
Yeah, they could be. She knows you're calling. She's hiding. She's like, oh no.
She's like, oh no, this motherfucker calling. He think he's slick.
No.
Because she know the number I'm calling from is the
oh,
phone.
yeah, okay.
So she ain't gonna answer the phone. Yeah, she ain't gonna answer the phone. The phone lines are open if anybody want to talk about the situation in Seattle, the situation in Chicago, and the situation in Atlanta. Let's talk about Chicago real quick. Over 100 people were shot across Chicago over the Father Day.
You got a call?
That's Maurice. What's up, Mo?
What's up, sir?
Hey, Momo, how you feeling, man?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so what's up?
I got to call in, man. You ain't been on you ain't had a show in a while, so now they call in the message.
Bullshit, I have a show every weekend.
Huh?
I have a show every weekend. It's the mask. You probably can't hear me because this fucking mask is on. I have a show every weekend, Mo. You know that.
Oh, well, you probably did. I probably missed it, man. I don't know.
You know why? Because your ass all the way out there in Atlanta acting a fool. Oh, that's Mariah calling right now. Hold on. I'm a link y'all up. Hold on. Okay, I just merged calls. Mariah, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
I got you on the show. And I got there's some background noise going on one of y'all.
Yeah, it's probably me. What's up?
I was gonna call you and ask you about the situation that's going on in Seattle by Chaz, the group called Chaz or Chop or whatever.
I can't hear you. Say that again.
The group called Chaz or Chop in Seattle. They took over Seattle.
I don't know. I can't understand what you're saying. It is some kind of feedback.
Yeah, that's somebody's phone.
Oh, it might be mine.
Oh, it might be yours. Turn whatever you got on.
No, I can hear him. I can hear him very clearly. Can you repeat what Sax was saying?
I can hear him, but it sounds like he's got too much noise. It's like acoustic.
I ain't got no noise in the background. I ain't got no noise in the background.
Somebody's listening on their device and on their phone, and it's delayed, and that's causing the feedback on that.
That's what it is.
I'm not listening, so it can't be me.
I got mine turned down.
You got yours turned down?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it can't be me.
Let me cut the volume down. How about that? Is that better?
A little. Okay, go slow. What are you trying to say?
Give me your opinion on what's going on over in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, I can't give my opinion right now. Why did you like warn me I was going to be on the show and ask these questions?
Well, hey, you real opinionated. I mean, you got some strong opinions. You got some strong points. And, I gave my opinion on Chaz. I wanted an opposite or a person that can give me their opinion on it, maybe different from mine or whatever, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, can't you grow me for the next show for this?
Wait.
Beauty, man. I'm tired of politics and police corruption and judge corruption. I'm just tired of it. I want to go to sleep.
Well, you are the head of you're the founder and the author and the founder of Chasing Justice. which is a great foundation. She's doing a great job. I support and back her work at Chasing Justice. She's real busy. Every day she's kicking ass, chasing justice, getting things done. So I understand how tired you can be, Mariah. I get it.
But you still want an opinion.
I gotta mess with you though. I have to. You know I have to.
Okay, I tell you what. When you go on again, let me know you're gonna go ahead of time, and then we can have that discussion. But right now, I just don't want to talk about anything that has to do with the world. I'm sick of the world.
Can't blame her.
All right, Mariah.
Is it a deal?
It's a deal. Next Friday?
Next Friday is a date.
Next Friday is a date. So be expecting it.
All right, guys. Have a good evening.
All right, honey. Be good.
Bye.
That's my girl, Mariah Crenshaw. She's the founder of Chasing Justice. You can find her on YouTube, and you can find her on Facebook under Chasing Justice. Great person. She's on top of her shit. Mo, what's going on, man?
Nah, not much, man. You know what? Just the piggyback off of what you were saying with her. You know what? I mean, honestly, Joy, you're right, man. She's doing a hell of a job, and I'm glad somebody has finally decided to step up and do what she's doing, especially going against East Cleveland, because that's one of the. I'm sorry, even though East Cleveland's my hometown, that's, to me, in all honesty, is probably one of the worst departments around.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got a few good officers there, but you got a few that just made that department look so bad.
Yeah. I have to agree with you on that. That's my city. I went to Shaw. I lived in East Cleveland. Grew up there. I worked as an auxiliary there for a few months. So I felt I'm part of East Cleveland. But to see it fall apart the way it did, when I come home from the Army in 81 and see how the city just went down around 84, 85, oh my God, it broke my heart, because it used to be a suburb. People was afraid to go through East Cleveland. You got to be respectful coming through East Cleveland.
I remember those days.
You remember those days?
I mean, I went to Shaw too. I graduated in 91.
Yeah, I come about 78.
But I remember those days.
Yeah. You
I
couldn't.
remember that. You didn't go through.
You didn't go through there speeding. You wasn't in there selling no drugs. You wasn't doing nothing in East Cleveland unless you want to go to jail and get your ass whooped. So they didn't play that.
Right.
So now it's like it's the place to go to sell your drugs and do everything you want to do illegal.
But you know what? But I'm gonna tell you like I tell everybody else. I'm gonna tell you like I tell everybody else that I had discussions about things like this that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem when you look at it, it's not so much the officers there. You gotta look at the government, the city council, because in all honesty, the city councilors are the ones that basically control that city.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you got corrupt city councilmen or councilwomen or whatever in that city, that's never gonna go anywhere. Never, because the mayor don't control everything.
Right.
The mayor only make a move when the council, on approval of the council people.
Yeah,
so
because they the ones that write legislation. They write legislation. The mayor agrees on it and sign off on his own. So you got people writing legislation. They over there doing illegal shit, stealing money. Businesses leaving the city. When they opened the city up to low income and to Section 8 and everything, the place went to hell, because now you don't have taxpayers no more. You got people living on welfare that's not paying taxes. And without taxes in a small city, the city would die. It would die.
Yeah, exactly.
Businesses were shutting down. People couldn't afford their homes. Home foreclosure. People losing their homes. No more homeowners. No more tax money. No more businesses. No more tax money. City dies. That's what happened.
Yeah, well, the biggest problem, well, as far as the property tax, I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest problem with too is the property taxes keep going up in that city too. And
Yes.
I mean, it's like,
Yes.
it's like you could be paying more property tax than what that house is worth.
Well, that's what they were doing. They was using RETA. They called it RETA. They was using it because every homeowner that loses his house or move out, every business that shut down, they had to compensate for those tax dollars. So they raised taxes up on the ones that were still there, which made them leave and move out. So the more and more you raise taxes on the ones that was still there, made those that are still there move the fuck out. So it was a bad idea to do that. Raise taxes on this guy. He moved. Okay. Raise taxes on this guy. Oh, he moved. Raise taxes on this guy. He moved. Damn. Before you realize it, you looking at $6,000-7,000 a year in poor ass city of East Cleveland.
Right.
And the house ain't worth $10,000. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happened in East Cleveland. It just fell apart. You know, I got in-laws that still live in East Cleveland, but they up close towards the Cleveland Heights border. They up that way. So what?
East Cleveland Heights, they call it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying. What's your take on what happened in Chicago?
Yeah, who?
In Chicago over the Father's Day weekend, all them people got shot.
I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, man, I mean, I get where you were coming from on that issue, but my whole thing is, man, Chicago's been out of control for years, man. I mean, it's no big surprise.
We had a president from. And listen, our first
down slightly.
Slightly. 104 people killed in one weekend.
No. What I'm saying is, it calmed down slightly during this pandemic and the self-quarantine and everything, but, you know, once the quarantine started loosening up, I mean, it was like back to business.
104 people? That's more than white cops has killed black people in the last 5 years. That number that number brings that out.
It's always gonna be like that. It's always gonna be like that.
Yeah.
Man. Chicago is one of the roughest cities around, man.
Yeah.
Especially South Chicago.
Yeah. You got a 3-year-old toddler killed in the backseat of his father's car. That's a damn shame. Man, it's business. You got a 13-year-old girl at home doing dancing with her mama, and the bullets come flying through their house and kill her.
Right.
11-year-old, same thing.
Tragic. No doubt it's tragic. But you know what? Just to go back to what the gentleman said, this which was David.
Yeah.
Okay, just to touch on what he said, like he was saying, you know, what do you think was the cause of the increase of the violence that's been going on?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at it, man, in all honesty, I think we had this discussion before.
Mm-hmm. You probably did.
Look at the age bracket. The age bracket is what's involved, what's going on right now, man. When you look at it, you got these guys that live between the ages of 15 to their mid-20s is out here doing all this craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the same kids when they was with their mama. Oh, my kid wouldn't do that. Oh, that's not my kid. Why y'all messing with my kid? You don't know.
Right,
you
that's
don't
so
wrong.
bullshit.
This is the same kid.
Yeah.
This is the same kid who can turn around and see you walking down the street at night and say, hey, man, you know what this is about. Give me what you got.
Right, you already know what's up. Right. You know, that's right. That's
and then
right.
when he wound up shot and dead somewhere, oh, my baby didn't do nothing. He didn't touch nobody. He good. He was everybody liked that one side of him.
Yeah.
But what mama didn't know is about the other side of him. When it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning, he's supposed to be in the house. He out here walking the streets with his buddies.
What's up, Vince? Did you know that every New Year's in Chicago, police officers go hide while they shoot, while the citizens shoot?
Oh shit! And I'm honestly, that's weird, man. I mean, I remember when I used to do security over there, Willow Arms over there, the old Willow Arms. We used to go to the top of the hill and just chill out at midnight. Yeah, because I don't want to be on ground level where they can shoot at my ass while I'm driving past. Exactly.
And that's what Chicago gets the fuck out of Dodge. They go somewhere and hide. You know, and they'll respond to any shooting calls for somebody injured, but they get the fuck out of the way because they got shot at before. On New Year's, yeah. And, you know, ain't nobody gonna say nothing because you hear gunshots because it's New Year's. But you got bullets bouncing off of windows and then your door ran down the street as a police officer, boom, you know, so they go hide. Yep. How about the blue flu in Atlanta? What's up with that?
I'm glad you brought that. You know what? Honestly, I'm put it like this, man. I know. I mean, like I said, I know where you're coming from with this whole law enforcement thing. And trust me, You know, I support law enforcement strongly too. But you know, like me and my wife, we have this discussion about this thing every now and then. Honestly, in all honesty, I say it's fun on both sides. In all honesty, it really is. Because like you did the same with just think of what you're saying. What you said, yeah, the guy was drunk, he was passed out in the car. Technically, he should have been driving anyway.
He should have been driving.
Okay, so yeah, right. He should have been driving. He was already drunk. So that's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the video, the police officers treated him with respect.
They were so professional.
They didn't nothing.
Yep, they were very professional. I was very proud of them.
Right.
Very professional.
But the thing about it was what got that officer jammed up was the fact is he shot the dude in the back twice when he had the tight taser. Mm-hmm. Now, if it was a gun, he probably would have been justified.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, if you look at the taser missed. The taser missed.
No, the taser got him. He went to the floor. That cop fell to the floor.
No, that cop fell. He fell. He fell trying to dodge the taser.
See, I heard the same thing.
I was told that taser hit him.
If you look at the video at fast pace, it looked like he got hit. But if you slow it down, he fell because he was trying to dodge.
He was trying to dodge the taser. Okay, so he was trying to dodge the taser. Okay.
Because like I said, even if it was I don't actually think he should get charged with murder.
No, not murder.
I say
no. Manslaughter.
Unfortunately,
manslaughter, man.
If anything, he should have been manslaughter.
Yep.
Because you know, London murder. Because manslaughter said, okay, well, you didn't mean for it to happen, but it went that way.
But it went that way, exactly.
But murderer said that this was your plot.
This is your intent. That was your total intent. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
that wasn't it.
I was saying to myself, I'm glad they stopped him. I'm glad they gave him the test. I just wish he would have just went on and just took the L. Because if they would have, a lot of people talking about, well, why y'all just didn't let him go? Why you just didn't let him pull over and sleep? All this. Well, there's a lot of reasons why, and I can give you a couple. Letting him go will put those those officers in a situation. Had he got in that car, rolled down the street, and ran over somebody's grandmama crossing the street, all right, that would have fell back on his officers. Two, if they say, okay, pull over and go to sleep, because if you look at the video and listen to the first officer, he did say, pull over, find a parking spot, and sleep it, and then he stopped. He was going to say sleep it off. He stopped. Because, again, if they assumed that that's what he's going to do and they drove off, he could have waited till they cleared the area, started that car up, and left down the road again. Once again, put somebody at risk. So they couldn't leave him. They wasn't going to take him home. All right? And they wasn't going to let him leave. So the next step is see how bad you are, or whether or not if I want to write your ticket and take you home, or if you too fucked up, you got to get arrested. And they came to that conclusion. He was too fucked up. He had to go. He knew better. The fuck?
Right.
Was that you?
I mean, yeah, but he blew what? 1.08. 1.08.
I mean, that's what, twice? 3 times almost?
Yeah, he was 3 times.
3 times, yeah, because it's 0.8. So he was 1.6 or something. Yeah, that's 3 times. Well, twice, whatever. But think about it. If they would have did everything the civilians was crying that they wanted him to do, somebody else would have been put at risk.
Right.
So they had to do what they had to do. They didn't know he was going to resist because he was calm the whole time, and they were calm the whole time. So neither one of them, neither officer thought that it was going to be a fight.
It's just that substance abuse thing where all of a sudden, you're chilling, but then, like that, just turn on a dime. So they had no idea.
They had no idea that he was going to do that. No one, excuse me, I was watching it. I didn't think he was going to flip. I thought he was going to give up. Man, all right, fuck it. Boom. You did the test. You agreed on it. If you was going to resist, you should have resisted taking the test.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is like, the whole thing was cool You know, he was cooperative in the whole thing from the giddy up, doing the sobriety test, everything. He, you know, and then as soon as he got ready to realize he was getting hooked up, he took off running.
He took off running. And he handled both those cops. I was like, damn. Neither one of them could handle the guy. The guy threw him around like a paper bag.
Well, toxicology will find out what he's been on, too.
He had been on
it
some
wasn't
shit.
just alcohol.
He
something
had
else
been on
involved
some
in that
shit,
one, too.
too. Yeah, he had to be.
Because, you know, when people are on, you know, God knows what, crack or whatever, they become super fucking human.
Man,
you know?
let me tell you, Floyd was on some shit. His toxicology report came back that he was on a bunch of fentanyl and other shit. Yeah. This guy was on a bunch of shit. Right? The only one that they dealt with those two guys weren't cops. They were just two rednecks from Florida. The Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah.
But the latest shootings that happened that they was talking about, those guys was on something. High on something serious. Not coffee. They on some shit. But what made me mad, Maurice, was the fact that the dumb neighborhood took it out on Wendy's. Wendy's didn't have anything to do with it. Why would you burn down Wendy's?
One woman took it out on Wendy's.
I mean, it's stupid.
Just one. I mean, it takes one bad apple to do it.
Yeah, somebody talked her dumb ass into doing that shit.
I don't know, a woman? I don't know. You can't talk a woman into doing anything they don't want to do.
Spoke about Mary made a no better.
But see, you know what though, man? It goes back to like, you know, again, this is something I talk about. I try talking to one of my friends down here, and I talk to other people. It's like you got to look at the whole thing. It's like, what's the point of burning down with and then you look at the other situations. Like, okay, all that rioting that happened 2 weeks ago. Okay, the thing is, everybody does. Some people won't realize it ain't. If you look at the video, I don't know if you ever looked at some of the videos, actually, your co-hosts looked at, or Dave, if you guys looked at it, most of the ones that was aggravating the situation, they were wearing backpacks and masks.
They were part of Antifa. That was
right.
Antifa.
Those are the ones that are being paid to start the riot, to cause the problems, and get everybody upset. Because basically, even when you look at Facebook, you got all this stuff coming up on Facebook, stuff that happened 2 or 3 years ago. People are putting it on Facebook like, hey, this is current. And it's not current.
Yep.
This is like old stuff.
They started the shit downtown here in Cleveland. They started that shit. They provided the rocks and the bricks to throw. They provided all the bullshit. And when the shit was over, they ran and left the black people to catch the blame for it. I cracked the fuck up.
Because you know why? Because the black people were the ones that joined in.
Yep. Started looting too. And believe me, all that looting and breaking down and shit like that wasn't about George Floyd. Because a lot of those damn looters were sitting at home watching it on TV and saw that they was getting away with looting these stores and say, hey, we do need a TV, though.
Free TV and go to Geiger's, get a free suit. Look good.
Yeah. Well, shit, let's go. And they went down there and they started. So it ain't, all that shit didn't have anything to do with him.
Right.
It's just opportunity. They found opportunity to be fucking thieves. That's what it was.
It had nothing to do with George Floyd. The peaceful protesters had everything to do with George Floyd.
Yeah, that was about them.
And everything that transpired after that peaceful protest was just a clusterfuck of magnanimous proportion.
Let me tell you something. If I wasn't a cop,
Yeah.
I'd probably been like, shit, I could go for another iPad or something like that. And they right down there by that store that I know they got one of them. No, I'm lying.
Bullshit. His nose is growing as we're talking.
I'm lying.
Holy shit, dude.
You know damn well I wouldn't do no dumb shit like that.
What do you think about this Bubba Wallace thing with the...
Oh, yes. That's what I forgot to put down. It was driving me crazy. I said, something else I want to talk about. Bubba Wallace needs his ass whooped. He needs to be right there next to Jussie Smollett.
But why does he? Because I call bullshit on that one.
It's bullshit because he needs to be right there next to Jussie Smollett, and they both should be standing in front of a fucking wall, and everybody should take shit and throw it on him.
But Smollett's different. He orchestrated that. Where I think Bubba Wallace, it was just absolutely coincidental that was in his.
But why make it a thing to where you get a group behind you to go marching?
Because
when you knew that shit was on everybody's goddamn
it wasn't.
thing.
It was on one. It's been there for 2 years.
Yes.
They have videotaped evidence of it. They get assigned. My girl's into NASCAR, so I know way too much about the sport that I hate.
There you go.
They pick a stall. They do random numbers before every race, before they go in, and his happened to be 4A or whatever the hell it was, something like that, just randomly. And they have video from when the other white drivers, whoever was there before, the same news coming down. So it wasn't premeditated, but I do have to say that the white guy, the son of a bitch that did that 2 years ago, knew damn well what he was fastening before he stuck it up. Now he didn't know the only African American NASCAR driver would occupy that one stall, but he knew damn well what he was doing. It's just pure coincidence. But NASCAR needed to get behind him to support him and do what he needed to do. He wasn't looking for attention. You think Bubba Wallace wants attention like that?
Well,
man? Shit.
I got a NASCAR joke for you.
Right.
This is a NASCAR joke. Why don't black people drive in NASCAR?
Oh, God, why?
Because when they crash their car, they get out and run.
Oh man, you need that
Yeah.
Rim shot.
He has a rim. Yeah, when they crash their car, they get out and run.
No, but he's not looking for attention, man. I mean, other drivers and crew people were all there in solidarity behind him because, I mean, it looked like at the time for what he went through, because he wanted to ban the Confederate flag. He's the only African American driver. NASCAR is a predominantly white sport.
Yeah.
99.9% of the spectators are white.
Right.
And I mean, everything was there that looked like this had happened. But the place is so heavily guarded. You have millions, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment back there. They went back and looked at the videotape and saw nothing that transpired.
Right.
So where the fuck did it come from?
Right.
And they had to reverse it and use B-roll footage from the Fox newscast.
The FBI had to tell
and
them.
they found it right there.
The FBI had to say now.
But like I said, the guy who did it damn well knew what he was fastening, and had he known that it would have been in the only African American driver's garage a year and a half later, he wouldn't have done it. I guarantee you. At least I hope so. I'm thinking about the betterment of people, but I really hope
but
so.
see, I get it. I get it. I get it. That's why I got him on the show, because he makes sense out of everything. Now, I got another NASCAR joke.
All right.
Another reason why black people don't drive NASCAR.
All right.
Because their guns keep sliding out from under the seat.
Oh shit.
Stupid, man.
All right, here, I'll take it off for a second. Okay.
That was a good one, man. Hey, well, I got a shitload of them.
Yeah.
Another reason why blacks don't drive in NASCAR. They don't have a passenger seat for his hole.
Okay.
All right, here's another one.
Oh, boy.
Another reason why
All right.
black people don't drive NASCAR.
All right.
Because you can't wear his helmet sideways.
Oh, shit. See, Bill Cosby, right back there. I told you, man.
Hey, you can't wear your helmet backwards.
He's about as non-funny as Bill Cosby.
Hey,
Man, do you think Bill Cosby was funny? I don't think he was funny.
Yes,
one
I
bit.
thought he was very funny.
Really?
I liked him. He's just a slow, quiet, funny dude. He's one of the funny guys that make you have to sit and think. There's no punchline to him. He's telling a story to make you think, and then you laugh because oh, that makes sense.
Like Richard Pryor thinks it was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, but Richard Pryor would tell
And he
the
was
story
like that.
and make sounds and go right to it. Well, Bill Cosby take a long story to get to the punchline.
It's like Bill Cosby, to me, Bill Cosby, Jerry Lewis, not funny at all.
I love Jerry Lewis.
Oh,
You
God.
gotta be kidding me.
He does this all the time. That's all he fucking does all the time, man.
Big Jerry Lewis fan.
I'm a Jerry Lewis fan. That motherfucker was stupid.
And Ellen DeGeneres, I don't think is funny.
I don't think
one
she's
bit.
funny at all.
She's not funny one bit. At least in
she's
my
not funny.
opinion,
She's
you
not
know.
funny. Her, what's the other girl, the heavyset girl, Amy Schumer?
Oh, I can't stand her.
Yeah, she's
not funny. She's just vile. I mean, I like a dirty joke and shit, but she's just way too vile.
Let me tell you a person who left the industry that I loved, and she left because she said she's an insult comic, Lisa Lampanelli.
Oh, she was funny as hell.
She left the industry because people have gotten so sensitive
I
about
love Lisa
everything.
Lampanelli.
She's an insult comic. And she would say in her show, I don't have no offense on y'all. I insult everybody. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
And everybody would laugh.
Yeah.
She would talk about blacks.
Yeah, talk about her black men she loves.
Yeah, all the
that
black men
stuff.
go up in all
Yeah.
the dick she get.
Yeah.
She talk about white men. She talk about Italians. She talk
Jews,
about
everybody.
the Jews,
Oh,
everybody.
yeah.
So
she's funny.
She's
really
equal
funny.
opportunity
Insult.
assaulter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she was funny.
But she said she had to quit and get out of
She said she
business.
had enough of it. Yeah.
Because people were booing her, and she been doing this shit for a long time.
Yeah, she a long time. Yeah.
So what the fuck happened to the world? Why is everybody so sensitive now?
Yeah, it's just like look at the Aunt Jemima stuff that's going on.
Oh my God, that's what I meant to do too.
You got the millennials, man. The millennials.
Oh, millennials, you fuckers, you messed up. You messed up my Aunt Jemima, you messed up my Uncle Ben's, you fucked up my Miss Butterworth. Now what you gonna go do?
You can't watch Gone with the Wind anymore on a lonely Saturday night.
That's what I'm being offensive. You can't even. I mean, hell, actually, you know what? And I don't want to get him. I'm about to get Zach started, but
You about to get me started.
Started too, like when back in the day with women, when you couldn't make certain jokes around women because they got offended.
Yeah, you was considered a sexist. This is the thing. When you go and start messing with my cartoons, when you say take the guns out of Yosemite Sam, nobody was killing nobody back in the day when Yosemite Sam was running around chasing after Bugs Bunny. Well, nobody in the streets killing no damn body like they doing now. They got what's that game that they play that's killing everybody?
Grand Theft Auto.
You got Grand Theft Auto, and that's okay. But you got a problem.
They kill cops on the game too.
Yeah, they kill cops and people. You ain't got a problem with that, but you got a problem with Yosemite Sam? Are you kidding me?
I think they have more of a problem with. I don't think Yosemite Sam. I think more like Mrs. Butterworth and Aunt Jemima.
But they said they didn't want him with guns. They took Paw Patrol.
Well,
off.
yeah.
They took Paw Patrol. This is a kid's cartoon. Paw Patrol. They said cops ain't coming on no more.
Yeah, they canceled that.
They canceled cops. They
Even
canceled. What's that? Real
Live PD.
Live PD.
On A&E. Yeah.
What the fuck?
At least temporarily. I think it might have a reprieve, but at least for the next couple months,
But
years,
why?
They would do that way. They don't want to propagate violence. It might instill some redneck that's sitting watching TV be like, oh, let me go kill.
So Call of Duty
you know?
don't perpetuate violence.
Well, I mean, they have to, they're a huge corporation. They're looking at their corporate profit and corporate interest, man. Pull the show is easier than dealing with any potential lawsuits down the line.
So why they ain't pulling them violent ass video games?
I don't disagree with you there. I think it's a double standard. They should, or at least have have one version where it's cleaner than the others. Like remember they used to do that with tapes and cassettes. They used to have the little warning symbol, and they'd have the clean version, then they had the explicit version. And if you weren't 18 or over, you couldn't buy the explicit. This is years ago. But like the same kind of thing, they should do with video games. I don't know if they can manipulate them that way or fix them because they're so expensive. But there's got to be some way to do it.
Yosemite Sam?
Well, Yosemite Sam, not the name, but just his action. I'm talking about physical names of things, man.
But he has a toy. He has a cartoon gun.
Right.
You're not operating him. You watching him on TV. So how is he?
But we're talking about
a problem where you got to take him off.
Right. Well, we're talking about two different things here. We're talking about a product name versus a person that has an inanimate object in their hand causing pain. Well, I guess it could cause emotional pain for the the name. You being a black man, do you like the name Aunt Jemima?
Me being a black man is fucked up as it is.
No, but I'm saying, does that offend you? Does that offend? Because it offended me as a white person, man. Even years ago, I'm like,
Aunt Jemima offended you? Do you know Aunt Jemima is based on a real person?
I know it is.
So is Uncle Ben.
I know it is.
So how is that offensive?
To me,
it's based on a real individual.
I'll say this as a 42-year-old white man. When I was in my 20s, I was like, how can they have this in this day and age? Wouldn't that offend somebody?
Because you didn't understand it was based on a real person.
But I knew it was based on a real person. But me not being black, I obviously can't relate to it. But I thought in my head, I'm like, I think if I were black, I wouldn't want to see this caricature of this woman. The reason why
black people didn't have a problem with it because we understood that it was based on a real person, and we was proud of the fact that a real person, a black real person, was on a product.
But you don't think the image is offensive? I'm asking you seriously.
It is not offensive.
No, Uncle Ben's isn't offensive?
Uncle Ben's is not offensive. That man is dressed neat. He got a bow tie on, nice cut. He looked like somebody's grandfather. Yeah. Uncle Ben's rice. Why should I have a problem with that? Do you think Colonel Sanders is offensive having him on the thing?
He's an ugly motherfucker.
Well, he's ugly, but is that being offensive?
No.
That's a product he's selling.
But if I knew he was a slaveholder or something, even though he was born way after that, but if I knew he was a slaveholder or something, I wouldn't want to see him on. I wouldn't buy a product with him on.
Neither was any of them.
Neither was, I know, I'm not equating that. But you don't think the imagery of Mrs. Butterworth or anything is offensive at all?
Nope.
No, personally? Okay.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, I don't, I mean,
Matter of fact. Damn, I got Maurice on, so I was gonna call Mama Sax. Mama Sax should be watching this show because I want her opinion on that. Mama Sax should be watching the show.
Yeah.
Sharice,
Ever call in?
Sharice, you watching the show? Do me a favor, call Mama Sax and tell Mama Sax to call into the show. Call into the show because my mama has been around.
Oh, she's been around
for 65 years, 85 years.
Yeah, she's been around. She's seen it all.
So she's seen it all.
Right.
And she got Mrs. Butterworth in her goddamn closet.
Yeah,
Her cabinet. So she ain't offended by it.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben's and all that.
Do you think it's the white people that are afraid they'd offend the black people?
I don't think it's the white people. I think it's these
or the
soft
corporations
ass,
or
it's these soft ass millennials that's testing the waters. Let me explain why I say that. They're testing the waters to see how far can they go.
Right. Yeah. See where they're going next time.
Yep.
In your opinion. Okay.
They're testing.
Yeah, I get you.
Can I get away with this? Can I get away with that? Oh, I got away with it. Now let's move on to something else.
I get what you're
Let's
saying.
move on to something else.
Right.
Oh, I got away with that. Let's move on to something else. Next is going to be taking your guns, taking your freedoms, taking everything.
It could be, man.
Oh, it's coming. They already don't want the police.
Wait for next week.
Maurice. Maurice.
I think he hung up.
Did he hang up? Motherfucker. No, it's still on. Maurice. You punk ass. They want to get rid of the police. That's their main step because owning and controlling police means you got a lot of power.
That isn't just millennials, though. That's city councils.
They using the millennials. Just like
Minneapolis.
Just like what's the name is using not the alt-right. They using those fools running around doing all that goddamn damage. What's his name? George Soros is using them. Antifa.
Okay.
He's using them to gather and work his political party.
There's such a lot of misinformation out there, man. I mean,
no.
I like to read stuff from different. So Antifa is such a loosely based group with no focus, really. That they have very minimal.
Maurice, I'm about to hang up. Because I don't hear you.
And you know, you put a three-way call. I bet it's off, but it's on a three-way call.
No, it's cleared.
Oh,
see, it's clear.
Oh, okay.
All
this high-class technology up in this studio here.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Stanley's an intern, about 5'3".
Yeah,
nice ass.
Chocolate, big titties. Way out here, so I can put my drink on. Lay my head on her ass and go to sleep. That's what I want. I wonder if Mama Sax gonna answer the phone.
She's sleeping?
It is kind of late, ain't it?
Let's see, what time is it?
What time is it?
8:20.
No, ain't that late. She usually up longer than me sometimes. Watching her little reruns of Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. Me and her used to watch that together.
Oh, yeah.
She loved Big Bang Theory.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to...
My mom ain't answer the phone. What the fuck?
Let me try again in 5 minutes.
That ain't like her not to answer the phone.
Mama Sax says she uses the bathroom like the rest of us, man.
It's
sometimes
a possibility.
I leave the phone on the table. Sometimes.
You know, it's a possibility. My mama said it. That's funny. Come on, answer the phone. Come on, Mama Sax. Ooh, that ain't good. She usually answers the phone. One is a cell phone, the other is a house phone. So she can answer one of them.
Oh, you try both?
Mm-hmm.
Saxman Russaw. Can't take your call now.
Uh-oh. Got me worried now.
Oh, that should be all right.
She don't go to sleep this early.
Yeah.
Hello?
There you go.
Mama Sax, you all right?
Hello?
Mama Sax!
Hello?
Mama Sax!
Hello?
Mama!
I don't think it's on.
Is it on?
No.
It is on.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mama!
Hello?
Here, just talk
Mama
to
Sax!
Yes?
You okay?
Yes, I was in the other room and I couldn't get to the phone.
Okay. I'm about to put you on Bluetooth. I don't understand why you can't hear me. Mama Sack,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
what is it?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Okay,
Yes?
I got a guest in the studio. We were talking about the Aunt Jemima and the Uncle Ben situation where the softies want to get rid of Aunt Jemima off the pancake box and Uncle Ben off the rice box. What you know about that?
What do I know about that?
Yeah, how you feel about that?
Well, really makes no difference. That don't change the taste of the of the pancakes or the rice. They can put any face on there, but it still's not going to take. No, just clowning.
See, I told you, my mama is crazy.
I think it's such a silly. It's silly. It's ridiculous.
Mhm.
It's everything is good, getting all out of proportion. Because of this black and white stuff is going on, and they're finding everything that they can to keep. What can I say? Chaos.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So they'll pick and find any